Hey everybody, this is Heartless Spartan here with another 1/18th scale Toy Talk review. Today I have the Joy Toy World War II United States Army action figure. Now this figure I believe is meant to be an army builder, where multiple of these figures get purchased to flush out a scene and essentially build up an action figure army. I did in fact pick up multiple of these, and I am extremely happy to get World War II figures in this scale. I will say that most of what I've reviewed so far has been 1/6 scale or 12-inch figures and dolls, so getting further into 1/18 scale reviews is going to take me a while to figure out the grooves, so to speak. Let's get into today's review. Alright, so let's take a look at our figure here. I am going to have to zoom out here because this guy is at a distance. I've got him out of the box here. Yeah, it looks really small in the background, but that's that 1/18 scale. So let's actually take a look at the figure first. So out of the box, this is how he looks. He already has his helmet on. Now, I mean, the Joy Toy figures have a fair amount of detail for the price that they're at. What I mean by that is like the paint detail that's on it. It does look pretty good. And then the sculpting, they do a good job on the sculpting too. I have over time run into a couple of quality control issues. Even on like these figures. I mean, they're just kind of odd things, like maybe the canteen was attached upside down or something like that. Just kind of weird oddities like that, but nothing like kind of like game breaking or that couldn't really be fixed. Or just kind of like a weird paint job on something where something was a little bit off. But most of these, I mean, nothing has come broken or anything. Just kind of weird manufacturing stuff sometimes. But this guy's got his army jacket and fatigues. Have some nice paint down there on the little buckles. Now the ammo pouches and stuff, they're not really removable. Like the canteen's not really going to come off unless you like break that off of his belt. But I mean, the stuff looks cool, and they put a good amount of gear on these guys too. Nice backpack with the entrenching tool on there. And we've got some good sculpting on the helmet, and it's got like the netting on it. Now the helmet is removable. However, sometimes when I do put these on and off, these little tabs come undone on the inside, and most of the time they go back in pretty easily, but sometimes they just don't want to stay in on these chin straps. Yeah, like that. I'll have to use some tweezers to kind of pop that back in the little hole there. Now, I suppose you could put this on him either way that you want, with either the goggles in the front or the strap in the front. But to me, I have most of my figures to where it has like the strap in the front. And we can take a look at the little sculpt on this guy. Looks pretty good. He's actually got like sculpted and styled hair too. So, I mean, I am more than happy with these. I am like very glad that there is a company making 1/18 scale World War II figures again. So I am more than happy to be getting these. Just pop that on there. I'll fix the strap later. Well, see, my hands want to be too big. My fingers, I gotta use tweezers for this. Yeah, little things like that can get a little bit frustrating with the Joy Toy figures. But it's usually not too hard to fix, or you can just like kind of super glue the stuff back in, and it's not too much of an issue. But other times it's real stubborn, and it can kind of get a little bit frustrating just because of the little rubber pegs that are on there. Now, posability and articulation. I mean, the head's on a nice, I think it's even like a double ball joint. So we get good head movement, arms, elbows, wrists. The only limitations would be like the sculpting and either the weapons or kind of the extra gear he has on. Even like rocker ankles. So yeah, I mean the articulation on these is fantastic. Even around the waist here, the hips and the waist, there's some articulation. So I mean that looks really good. Now what else we got in the set is like came with an M1 carbine. Very basic paint on there. It's not like a rigid plastic, but it is kind of hard, so it can break if you aren't too careful with that. But then this little strap is rubber, and these have those little pegs that go in as well. Like on this one kind of popped out already, and it's been really hard to kind of keep that one in there. And that's the only thing I really find frustrating with these figures sometimes. But otherwise, I'm actually really happy with these figures. I think they do a good job with these. However, the only other complaint I might have is that sometimes their hands don't hold them so well. Now the rifle, his hands hold the rifle quite well. I'm not going to spend too much time posing that, but his hand holds that rifle pretty well. You'll see in the montage some different poses and stuff I do with them later that I can spend more time with that. And then the little strap came undone again. And there's even a separate hand, I think, for this. For his M3 grease gun. We actually take a quick look at that first. It's kind of a sculpted black grease gun there. Not really any extra washer detailing on there, but you can tell what it is. Once you get to something like this, it's a little bit harder to actually, like, I'm not even really going to try, because that's going to fall out of that hand. But if we look at these, they do include extra hands, which are fairly easy to swap out. I mean, he does come with like left and right fists. As well as another right-handed weapon hand for the grease gun. And then semi-open fist for the right. And the grease gun does fit a little bit better in this hand, but it is much harder to pose it. Yeah. But it is much harder to kind of pose it and keep it in place than the rifle. So sometimes I resort to using sticky tack on these. So then if I swap hands, that pops out fairly easily. He'll hold that, but then if you try moving his hand or shifting it, it's very likely to fall out. You know what? I'm actually having better luck now than I did earlier. There. So I was able to get that in his hands a little bit easier than I did earlier with some of my other figures. But for an army builder and a World War II figure, I mean, this is really good, and I'm glad to be getting this stuff and seeing more World War II figures come out. He also did come with a stand, and the peg actually does fit on the bottom of either foot very well. So let's see if I can get him doing a pose. Let's get him kind of running here. There we go. That'll hold him up pretty easily. Or at least fairly well. So, I mean, honestly, it's a really good figure, and it's worth army building, and I really do want to see more World War II figures from Joy Toy. And just kind of to demonstrate, like, kind of how much I want to see that happen, I've seen that Joy Toy does really well with its Warhammer line, and I'd really like to see, like, the World War II stuff take off. And I've also seen that they do vehicles, but they haven't made any World War II vehicles yet. So I kind of have to go back into the past a little bit, back to when 21st Century Toys made vehicles. And I kind of army built with the Joy Toy figure and added them to 21st Century Toys half track. And then swapped out some of the rifles and stuff. And I mean, I just want to see this again. I'd love to see Joy Toy just churn this stuff out, because like army building this would be like a dream of mine, because I am absolutely loving this. And I would love to see them come out with like new stuff. We have all those Joy Toy figures in the back, but I swapped out the carbines with some Garens that I had. But, I mean, that's just the potential of that. I just really, really want to see Joy Toy come out with much more extensive World War II figures. And I'd love to see that happen. So honestly, great figure. Clearly I've army built with these, and I'd like to see more. Let's go ahead and move into a montage. This World War II United States Army soldier figure works quite well as the army builder it was intended to be. It has a fair amount of paint detailing, nothing too in-depth, but it's good for the price range and scale. The articulation more than makes up for it. The figure has a great range of motion, allowing for a wide variety of poses. The only limitations to the articulation are thicker parts of the sculpting and gear. While the gear isn't meant to be removed, it can be, just at the buyer's discretion. I saw that the gear had pegs glued in that could be pulled apart, but might have to be glued back together if anybody wanted to remove the straps and backpack, but then put it back on. The weapons included were accurate and held up nicely. They weren't too flimsy to bend or break easily, or too rigid to fear snapping pieces off. The only issues I've had with the figure has been the rubber pegs on the straps coming loose and not staying in, and some strange assembly issues like an upside-down canteen. Overall, I'm happy with these figures. I like that they came with more than one weapon option, and I am really hoping Joy Toy releases more World War II figures in the future. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment. I know that Joy Toy does a fantastic job with the Warhammer line, but would you like to see Joy Toy make an extensive line of World War II figures and vehicles as well? I have some hope that they do. This has been Heartless Spartan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.